July 2026 is a quantum leap month. The Western astrology of this month is so rare, so special, so magical, and I'm so excited to share it with you all. And this is for many different reasons that we're going to be getting into in today's video. We're going to talk about the astrology for July for the whole collective and each of the 12 signs. So welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name is Meg Moonbeam, and I am a Western astrologer, mystic, and musician based out of Alberta. Over on my website, megmoonbeam.com, I offer personal readings. I have my premium and astrology club membership, webinars, courses, all kinds of different offerings. You can go check that out at my website. Link is below. And for my personal readings, I'm now booking into September, October 2026. So if you'd like to see me for a one-on-one, and we can look at anything with the gift of Western astrology, go check it out on my website. We've also got gift certificate reading options as well. And I'm super excited to share that on Sunday, July 5th, my astrology soul sister, Julie, and I from maisonjupiter.com, we're going to be hosting a Your Birthday Cards workshop, Unlock Your Life Path Secrets, something that I don't see a whole lot of other astrologers or tarot readers talk about that much, how actually depending on your birthday, you have a tarot card soul mission card, you have a soul essence card, a yearly card. We're going to be getting into this in this workshop, and we have a 50% off launch sale happening that also includes, if you would like to add, our upcoming When Tarot Meets Astrology workshop happening on Tuesday, July 21st. So from now until July 4th, if you sign up, it's a $40 sale that you're getting, and it's a $100 USD value for both workshops. So excited to be reunited with Julie hosting that workshop series. And thank you so much to everyone that has already signed up. We're going to be having lots and lots of fun. And last little housekeeping note, you guys, I'd really appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube Rumble channels, and consider leaving a comment below or press hype on this video to help with the channel's growth. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. So, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start with this month. Seriously, we have so much going on. We're going to break down some of the transits that I think are the most pertinent for the whole collective, get into some astrological predictions, how to work with these transits. Then we'll pull some tarot cards as well for the month. And then we'll look at, for each of the 12 sun, moon, and rising signs, specific horoscopes for this month of July ahead. So first of all, okay, I'm not being overly dramatic here. I know Jupiter has just entered Leo. Happy Jupiter in Leo, by the way, everybody. This can be a very dramatic time over the next year with Jupiter in Leo, but I am not over exaggerating when I share anything with you guys. I know sometimes it may sound like, oh my God, there's always something going on with the astrology lately, but the truth is that we are living in times with very special, extremely rare, once in a lifetime astrological transits. So that's why myself and some other astrologers out there, we may seem like we're always hyping it up. This is crazy. This is the craziest week. But really, this is exceptionally rare astrology that we've got going on. The thing that I am the most excited about with this month of July is the fact that we have a very rare, what we call cradle aspect pattern happening with 4 of the outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Jupiter, making exact positive aspects to each other. We're actually going to have this month 6 exact outer planetary aspects in 1 month. Okay, that is exceptionally rare. I don't even know, like I couldn't even find through my own personal research, when is the last time we even had something like that? We're talking probably tens of thousands of years ago. Okay, so Uranus sextile Neptune, Uranus trine Pluto, Jupiter trine Neptune, Jupiter opposite Pluto, Jupiter sextile Uranus, Neptune sextile Pluto. 6 outer planetary aspects exact, all in 1 month. And for those of you who may not know, the outer planets move a lot slower than the inner planets. So whenever we have exact aspects with the outer planets, we call these generational aspects. They happen way more infrequently. They're a lot more rare. And all of these outer planets, except for Saturn, they're making what we call a cradle aspect pattern. Some people call it a basket. In today's video, I'm calling it a cradle, where from July 18th to July 23rd, all these outer planets will be at 4 degrees, exact to the degree, of fire and air signs. And this is overall a very positive aspect pattern. Yes, we have the Jupiter square Pluto. Sorry, Jupiter opposite Pluto. We've got Mercury retrograde. So please, technical gods, help me speak clearly. Jupiter opposite Pluto, which is very intense, going to bring up some shadow works, going to bring up some secrets, going to be revealed, going to bring up a public death of a very powerful person. Did I just say that? Yes, I just said that. But overall, like very positive aspects happening as well. Uranus sextile Neptune, Uranus trine Pluto, Jupiter trine Neptune, Jupiter sextile Uranus, Neptune sextile Pluto. This is a quantum leap, okay? Because the outer planets in astrology, they deal with the quantum, the spiritual realms, our higher potential, our higher consciousness, our intuition, our greater wisdom, being in alignment with your highest destiny line and path. So I know I've already brought a lot of really technical things up, but to bring it down to some kind of basic language here, this is an extremely rare month astrologically where there will be new opportunities coming up. There is new energy, there is new potential, there is new inspiration, there's huge breakthroughs. Are you going to say yes? Or are you going to block it and say no? So my astrological advice, and we're going to talk about a lot of different transits, a lot of different things, go through all the 12 signs, pull some cards, but I think the most important thing going on is we've got all these outer planetary aspects happening. The cradle, this is about potential. This is about remaining open to the unexpected blessings, the unknown, and not blocking the universe, not blocking your higher path. I'm hearing Spirit say when things come up over and over again, through themes in your life, through signs and synchronicities, this is the universe, this is the planets clearly telling you, you should be focusing in that direction, right? Yes, there can be obstacles when you're creating something really good. That's kind of, one of the ways that I think things work here on Earth. When you do really positive things, there can be obstacles, there can be challenge, sometimes trying to block you through that. But if it's been your entire life where you've been trying to manifest something and that's just not working out, right? Maybe it's time to move on. Maybe there's an even bigger, brighter, better, more aligned path that serves you for your highest good. So my main astrological advice, this extremely rare month, I can't highlight this enough. Remain open. Be open to the weirdness. Be open to the unexpected. Pay attention to your intuition, signs, synchronicities, dreams. The outer planets also deal with our intuition, psychic senses as well. And we're going to break down throughout the month because it's a lot to break down. I'm not going to do it fully in this video, but really the deeper meanings into each of these 6 exact outer planetary aspects, the cradle as well. So stay tuned for that. But if you have any placements in your astrology at 4 degrees of air or fire signs, this cradle is exactly positively aspecting your placement or placements if you have more than one. If you have anything around 4 degrees, so I would say from 2 to 6 degrees of the fire or air signs, positively aspecting your placements as well. But even if you have anything at 4 degrees or around 4 degrees, it's making aspects. And I'm going to talk about that in an upcoming video for all the signs. So stay tuned for that. Another word is unprecedented, extremely special. Like I'm just hearing Spirit say, pay attention, remain open. There is magic afoot for each of us in our personal lives. And good news, also for the whole world. Okay. So also when we kind of take an eagle's perspective step up and look into the method of the astrological ages, right? We're leaving a 12,000 year dark cycle since the fall of Atlantis. We're entering a 12,000 year light cycle, starting with the age of Aquarius, on top of having this month with all of these outer planets. And I'll show you guys, let me bring up the chart to show you guys. In positive aspect, mostly positive aspect. Yes, we've got the Jupiter opposite Pluto, but that's one adverse out of 6 in total, right? This is supporting the world. This is supporting humanity. There is huge divine support and protection at this time. So no, the world is not going to end and it's all going to go to shit and we're going to have no food and it's all going to suck. That's not happening. I don't feel that that's happening. Will there be challenge and trippiness this month and moving ahead? Of course, because we're shifting ages. And that Jupiter opposite Pluto, which we're going to have exact on July 18th, that is going to magnify Pluto in Aquarius retrograde, who's very strong right now because also the ruler of that placement, the disposer Uranus, is in trine to Pluto. Jupiter expands whatever he's touching. So Pluto in Aquarius, this is disclosure. This is deep secrets being revealed, occult knowledge being revealed around Aquarius topics, experimentation that's been done. Humanity, our world history of humanity, technology, AI, social media, aliens, interdimensionals, outer space, astrology, astronomy, the greater collective of the world. Aquarius rules a lot of things. Weirdness, shocks and surprises. There will be a lot of information coming out this month that will shock the world. But it is needed. It is healing for it to come up. It will feel uncomfortable, right? But we are being extremely divinely supported with all these other positive outer planetary aspects happening. And if you have ever done any very deep self-development work, whether that's psychotherapy, whether that's shamanic healing, whatever it is, or plant medicine, there's all kinds of different things, then you will know part of that initiatory path is the dark night of the soul, is the shadow work, is the uncomfortable truths coming to light before you step into the bliss, right? So a lot of information going to be coming up this month, a lot of shocks, a lot of, Pluto rules death. I think this month we are going to see a very prominent death of whether that is a political figure, a very notable famous person, politician, royal family member, could be a physical death, could be a symbolic death. I think we could see that coming up big time. I think also the financial markets, because Pluto is in Aquarius, Jupiter is in Leo, these are financial signs. There will be big changes to that area of life that may feel kind of freaky and weird, but we're being very supported with all these other aspects. So stay tuned. I'm going to do whole separate videos on each of these, most of these outer planetary aspects, because there's a lot to unpack with each of them. And this video is kind of a general overview for the month ahead, but that is, I think, the most important thing that we've got going on. Now, also, when it comes into the sun sign seasons, for most of the month, we are in Cancer season. until July 22nd. And then Sun moves into Leo and we'll be in Leo season. So for most of the month, we are in Cancer season with a Mercury retrograde in Cancer, right? So it's interesting. All the outer planets now are in fire and air signs as of June 30th when Jupiter ingressed into Leo. But Sun is in a water sign, Mercury retrograde in a water sign. North Node is still in Pisces, a water sign. One of the other things happening this month, the nodes shift signs into Pisces, or sorry, into Aquarius and Leo. They've been in Pisces and Virgo. So there is a watery influence. Sun in Cancer, Mercury retrograde in Cancer. There is a invitation to be in self-care, to process your emotions, to spend time at home, to spend time with family and soul family, to reflect. Mercury retrograde is about review, reflect, take sacred pause on what is home. Where do you feel home? Who do you feel at home with? How's your emotional body? How's your self-care? Right? So there's a lot of power this month, even though there's a lot happening collectively and for each of us personally. There is an invitation to be in a really strong self-care practice, nurture your home, nurture your family as well. Cancer also has to do with countries and patriotism. It's funny, during Cancer season, we see Canada Day, we see Independence Day, two Cancer countries that tend to be very patriotic. Mercury retrograde in Cancer during a Cancer season can bring up a lot of change, issues from the past around countries, around borders as a theme, big time. How do countries look moving forward? So there is that sensitive, watery influence. I think the energy is going to change huge. Oh my God, when the Sun ingresses into Leo later in the month, we are going to have so much fire and air. Oh my God. And then the nodes move into Aquarius and Leo. And I think there's a point, let me just check something here. So I just checked, it's actually in August, but interesting to note that August 9th and 10th, all of the planets will be in air and fire nodes in Aquarius and Leo, except the moon will be in Cancer, water sign, Chiron and Taurus, earth sign. But holy guacamole, once we go into this Leo season, starting at the end of July, this is when we really, even more so, and I think we're feeling it already, but even more so feel the influence of this fire and air. And it's going to be intense. Mercury will be direct by that point. All the inner planets are direct. Things are going to move very, very fast. And I think we're going to have a lot of world changes very, very fast as well. So that's August. We'll talk about August in a bit, but it is important to take a look ahead. Now I've got the chart back up for July 1st, beginning of this month. What's also interesting about this month, we have several very intense astrological aspects at the start of this month. On July 1st, happy Canada Day, first day of the month, Chiron square Jupiter. On July 4th, Independence Day. Interesting, two very intense aspects on Canada's birthday, USA's birthday, which will actually be with both of those countries for the whole next year. I'm going to do two separate videos on Canada and US this week on my channel, so stay tuned for that. I'll dive deep into that. But that's interesting. And then on July 6th, exact Sun square Saturn. July 7th, Venus conjunct the South Node. Sorry, that's on July 10th. Venus conjunct the South Node. So the start of the month, there's a lot of triggers, a lot of sensitivity, explosive world events with that Mars conjunct Uranus. And actually, let me bring the exact chart up for that Mars conjunct Uranus. I have talked about this a lot on my channel. These Mars-Uranus aspects that we've been having in recent years, the past couple of years, astrologically, they've been very volatile, very explosive, very unpredictable. Multiple different assassination attempts happen with Mars conjunct Uranus, attacks, bombs, starts of wars. Yeah, a lot of different things. Some of you, if you've been following me for a way back, you'll know that I predicted the Butler assassination attempt on Trump to the day because we had a Mars conjunct Uranus with Algol there as well. So not only is it an intense energy the first week, it is volatile and it is kind of dangerous. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So if you're celebrating Independence Day or Canada Day or the FIFA soccer or whatever the heck it is, I'm going to say the first 7 days of July in particular, please be careful, be mindful of your surroundings. Yeah, I don't think it's the best to be at very big events or celebrations. That's just me personally. Mars conjunct Uranus is also not very good for fireworks. Just saying, Mars is energy, Uranus is electricity, Mars is a malefic. So when you bring them both together, it's volatile, it's explosive. It can also be like attacks in Gemini at a Gemini degree, in streets, at community celebrations, at a school. God forbid. I do not want that to happen. I'm just saying some of the things that Gemini rules. So yeah, be careful out there, you guys, first week of July. Okay, it is going to ease off a bit when we get into second week, third week. That Jupiter opposite Pluto, that is intense for sure. That won't be exact until July 20th, but I'm actually more concerned astrologically about the Mars conjunct Uranus on July 4th. And if you guys follow astrology, you know the astrology is real. Okay. So also with Mars conjunct Uranus, we want to watch out for electrical equipment, driving on the roads. That's Mars and Gemini. Short distance transportation, trains, small planes. Oh my God, Gemini rules so many different things. It's our day-to-day and our day-to-day devices. So I would just, personally, I'm laying low first week of July. I invite you to do the same. People can also be very unpredictable, weird, on edge. Our nervous systems are all fired up. Uranus is the nervous system. Gemini also related to the nervous system. And we're also feeling more sensitive at the same time with that Chiron square Jupiter exact on July 1st. So yeah, I think we're going to have some pretty shocking world events first week of July for sure. End of the first week on July 7th, Neptune goes retrograde. And we've got two of the outer planets going retrograde this month, Neptune on July 7th and Saturn on July 26th. Both of them will be retrograde until early December. So when Neptune goes retrograde, this is a time where it's in alignment to review your dreams, your intuitive feelings, illusions that have been coming up. We can see where we've been idealizing or been in escapism or fantasy. And it is a time where we may be invited to put clear boundaries on our spiritual lives, our creative collaborations as well. Not the best time to start new things creatively or spiritually. We also want to watch out with Neptune retrograde when it comes to long distance travel, traveling to really far away, like fantastical places. And when Saturn is retrograde, this is a time where we're kind of auditing our responsibilities, our work, our commitments. Time can feel different when Saturn is retrograde. For sure, we can be reviewing our work. There can be some reality checks coming up even stronger in whatever area of our charts we have Saturn. So important to pay attention to that for sure. See where you have Aries in your chart. That's where you've got Neptune and Saturn both in Aries transiting over. And don't know if I mentioned this already, but Mercury will be retrograde until July 23rd. So, not the best time, especially when Mercury is retrograde, one of the inner planets, and has a lot to do with our day-to-day life, documentation, devices, travel. Just not the best time to be starting new things, launching new projects, signing important documents if possible, making major life decisions, especially when it comes to the Cancer ruled areas of life, which is our home, our family, um, self care things as well. So important to pay attention to that. And we have two lunations this month. Let's bring up the chart for it. First, our new moon in Cancer happening on July 14th, which it's always nice when we have a new moon in Cancer because the moon is at home in Cancer. This is where she most likes to be. I feel that this new moon in Cancer on July 14th is very sensitive and reflective, especially as Mercury retrograde will be conjunct the new moon, only off by a 3-degree orb. So even though new moons are about starting new things, Mercury is retrograde, conjunct the new moon. So what is it from the past that we maybe need to clean up before moving forward in some of the things that we want to create and manifest? It's a good time to go within to find answers and clarity, to clean out your home and your personal spaces, spend time in sacred space, ceremony. Self-care is a great way to work with this new moon. And Jupiter is in a strong opposition to Pluto. So it's not exact. It's going to be exact on July 18th, but 1-degree orb off of being exact. So there is a lot coming to the surface at the time of this new moon, revealing, ruled by Pluto, of powerful, famous royal people and institutions, politics, which is Leo. I think there could possibly be an online leak, disclosure of something with this new moon that is really, really big. Truths coming out that we have been waiting for from the past, but are very sensitive and uncomfortable. Also interesting that the nodes are at critical degree, 0 degrees. To me, it feels like a test of fate and events of faith. Very psychic, spiritual time and energetically sensitive. And we have 3 days before this exact new moon in Cancer, Venus at fall in Virgo conjunct the South Node. So Venus conjunct the South Node, and when it happens on July 10th, it's at critical degree, 0 degree. We're going to see a lot of breakups, divorce. Venus has to do with committed relationships, friendships ending, negotiations that come to a close, deals that are done. I'm hearing karmic resolution. There's an ending when it comes to our personal and collective relationships, karmic relationships, relationship to money and income and security and stability as well. So really interesting aspect also that we have happening this month. And now we've got up the chart for the extremely intense full moon in Aquarius happening on July 29th. At the end of the month, definitely one of the most intense lunations of the whole year. Interesting that it's happening 3 days after the nodes shift into Aquarius and Leo on July 26th. Now, those nodes, just to speak about that first before the full moon, they'll be in Aquarius and Leo until March 26, 2028. This current nodal axis that we're leading into is asking us to let go of the shadow side of Leo ruled areas, such as unnecessary drama, the ego, being the center of attention just for the sake of being loved. And it's calling us to evolve into the Aquarius areas. North Node is what's in alignment, Aquarius, community, collaboration, innovation, the future. This is a time of great experimentation and being open to new things. So very exciting stuff. And we've got those nodes at critical degree, 29 degrees, at the time of the full moon in Aquarius on July 29th. Now, this full moon is super intense because it's in Aquarius. It's moon conjunct Pluto, okay? The ruler of the underworld, secrets, shadow side of life. And Pluto is in that strong opposition to Jupiter. Now, it's funny because we have Jupiter Cazimi, Sun conjunct Jupiter, which some astrologers will be going, oh, this is the most positive day of the year. It's the luckiest day of the year. Jupiter conjunct the Sun. Yes, it's a positive aspect with this full moon, but my God, the moon is conjunct Pluto. Jupiter opposite Pluto, there is going to be shocking revelations coming up. Okay. So, about our human history, technology, our origins, the financial markets, a lot. So, this is an important full moon to get out your popcorn, buckle up, take it easy at this time. Not the best full moon to be in large groups, protests, or experimental situations, as they could be volatile. We could see very intense revolution and protests happening. I do like that the ruler of this full moon, Uranus, who rules Aquarius, is in a supportive trine to the full moon. So that is a really good aspect happening. Also, a lot of still the positive outer aspects of the outer planets happening. So it's going to be totally weird, totally wacky. Buckle up for that freaking full moon. So, oh my goodness, you guys, this is not a boring month. This is, I think, the most special month of the Gregorian year of 2026. And also, if that's not enough for you guys, when we get to the end of the month, we start to be in the influence of our next eclipse season happening in August. We have solar eclipse in Leo, August 12th, lunar eclipse in Pisces. I think it's August 28th. Really, the whole month of August is going to be an eclipse season. And we're going to feel that at the end of the month of July. And eclipses are, no biggie. It's just the biggest windows, doors of endings and beginnings that possibly come up. So this is a month of fate, revelations, disclosure, death, rebirth, potential, breakthrough, innovation. So much cool stuff. Let me know how you're feeling about it in the comments below. And before we get into readings for each of the 12 sun, moon, rising signs, let's pull some tarot cards and see what's up. Okay. And I'm asking Great Spirit, all that supports us for our highest good, what are our tarot messages as a collective for the month of July with all these amazing astrological transits that we've got going on? Woo! Okay. The Magician. Six of Pentacles, the Star. And our first card is the Nine of Swords. I always get confused if that's a 9, if that's a 10, what the heck is that? And actually, let me switch the camera view just for a moment here, because when I switch the camera view, it's easier to see the cards. So this is an anxiety card, fear, negative energy. So this is making me think about, there's fears coming up. This is so Aquarian. This is so Aquarian. This month is a mixed bag. You have a lot of once in a lifetime positive energy, potential, breakthroughs, woohoo, bliss, orgasmic frequencies, but also and whether this is us as a conscious community, can be people around us, we can be feeling it as empaths, anxiety, fear, what the fuck, excuse my language. There's huge world events coming this month. Huge. That I'm hearing shake the fabrics of reality, and things that you thought were going to be in the near future moving with you aren't there. So whether that's notable people, institutions, ways that we have access to certain things, I'm hearing there's changes happening there, and there's revealings happening there. So fear, false evidence appearing real. And anxiety, when you feel anxiety, it means you're not in the present moment, right? So usually with anxiety, you're worried about something in the past or the future. And I say that with love. I'm a Scorpio with my Pluto and Scorpio. I've got all crazy aspects in my chart. I've had periods where I've literally had crippling anxiety attacks in my life where I couldn't even function. So anxiety sucks. That's one of the worst feelings. And I think that if you're feeling that, you could be picking up on the collective anxiety, people scared of things that are coming up that they weren't expecting were going to happen. So doesn't mean it's the end of the world, doesn't mean things are going to shit. It means we're moving forward and we're clearing. Okay. And if you or a loved one are ever like in a really fearful, anxious state, it's important to feel that, get connected to nature, get grounded, eat really nourishing food, drink really good water. Sound healing, I find really great. Dancing, getting into like-minded community. Yes, feel it if it's coming up, but do not get stuck in the fear. Do not get stuck in the anxiety. Hope that makes sense. Also, really good cards, you guys. The Magician, 2 major arcana, and the Star. Whoa. We are creating our magical reality in every moment. There is so much opportunity. There is so much expansion this month. I probably sound like such a metaphysical, new age spiritual girl. There's so much expansion. But seriously, this is super rare, unprecedented transits. So magical, Magician, so creative, so high vibrational, new frequencies being brought into the planet. Ascension symptoms are normal if you feel that this month. I'm hearing that some of us may start to have like new spirit guides or different kind of experiences with the spiritual this month. You have the power to create the most beautiful, magical life ever. We're manifesting a lot. We're getting more in tune with our creativity, our power, our star family, our higher consciousness, things being revealed about the stars, astrology, astronomy, ETs, interdimensionals, Uranus trine Pluto, North Node going into Aquarius. This is inspirational times. And are you going to be held back in the what was? Or are you going to be open to where we're going and the new blessings that for a lot of us were things we never even anticipated coming up, right? Life can have unexpected turns. I talk about quite a bit. I never planned on being a professional astrologer and mystic. That was never a plan. That was never a dream, but it's been extremely fulfilling. It's a way that I'm of service to the world. Like sometimes life takes these turns, right? And you get put in situations, opportunities that you weren't expecting. What you weren't expecting, gifts you weren't expecting. 6 of Pentacles. Be open to the gifts of the universe, of others. And yes, give gifts when it feels in alignment and it's in a healthy way to those that need assistance and support and kindness. Oh my God, this is powerful stuff. This is powerful stuff. I'm going to switch my camera here. Okay, we are starting with our Aries, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Happy July 2026. Aries, this month we have for the whole month your planetary ruler Mars in Gemini in your 3rd house. So there is an emphasis on communication, your local community. There can be short distance travel going on. Now, we do have a Mercury retrograde currently happening in Cancer. And Mercury, of course, is associated with the 3rd house of Gemini. So the Lord of your 3rd house is retrograde. Now, with Mars there can be a lot going on. There can be a lot of conversing activity in your local community. Maybe there are documents and decisions that are coming up very strong. I want you guys to just triple check everything in your day today. There can also be, a potential for like issues with cars or devices or things breaking down. So just watch out with your devices, watch out with your cars when you're on the road, all that kind of stuff. But also Mars in the 3rd house can be bringing up empowering conversation coming up to the surface. In the month of July, we've got the sun transiting over your 4th and your 5th houses. For most of the month, we have the sun in Cancer transiting over your 4th house of Cancer. So shining a light this month on your home, your family, your emotions, while we have Mercury retrograde in Cancer in your 4th house. So I think there's a lot going on for Aries this month. There can be busyness going on. At the same time, a need for rest, a need for self-care. People, places, things, memories, nostalgia coming up from the past, people coming up from the past. There may be some confusion this month from the beginning of the month until July 23rd around where you're living, where you want to be rooted and landed. Not the best time from July 1st to July 23rd to make major decisions around home and where you live. Wait until after July 23rd when the Mercury retrograde is over. Neptune and Saturn are both in your sign of Aries and both going retrograde this month in your 1st house. So they're both going to be retrograde from July going into December in your 1st house. So there is a theme from now, starting now, going until December, of reviewing and reflecting on how you're showing up in the world. I think there can be work roles changing. There can be your relationship to your physical health and your body changing. This is a good time to maybe start new positive health, fitness, wellness protocols. And you can also be having more, I think, just sensitivity this month, with also the sun transiting over your 4th house, but really until December, with Neptune in your sign retrograde, in particular in your 1st house. That brings up psychic sensitivity, emotional, mental sensitivity, paying attention to your dreams from your past coming up very strong. I'm hearing the word for Aries, recalibration, this month and also going into December. On July 14th, we have a new moon in Cancer, and we will still be having the Mercury retrograde in Cancer at the time of that moon, July 14th. This is a new moon where, Mercury retrograde is conjunct the new moon. So yes, new moons are about new beginnings, setting your intention, fresh new energy, but we've got Mercury retrograde conjunct the new moon. So very strong for Aries, I think most of all. What from your past still needs to be cleared up, tied to home, family, your emotional body, before you can create the new things that you want to create. Okay, great new moon to be spending time at home, spending time with your family as well. And then on July 29th, we have full moon in Aquarius happening in your 11th house. And this is a very intense, even volatile full moon. It's conjunct Pluto. It's in an opposition to Jupiter, with Jupiter opposite Pluto. I like that Uranus, the disposer, is in positive aspect, but very intense full moon happening in your 11th house of friends, community, networking, like-minded people, the future, gains, long-term wishes and dreams. So there can be endings. There can be changes. Again, I'm hearing the word recalibration when it comes to these 11th house areas. Yeah, Aries, at the time of that full moon in Aquarius, there may be the ending of a friendship or an association of a group, community that you've been a part of, or an exposing, intense situation that happens to a friend or a community. It can be really coming up to the surface for you, your relationship to technology. If you've been having a social media addiction, if you've been having an AI addiction, something like that. Does that, how does your relationship to technology, 11th house, feel? Again, there's a theme of what do you need to let go of that may be toxic, having to do with friends, community, relationship to technology, to be able to move forward. So very interesting, intense full moon for everybody. Lucky day of the month is July 19th, when we've got your ruler Mars sextile Saturn. And I think most intense day of the month for you is definitely July 4th, when we've got your ruler Mars conjunct Uranus. July 4th, watch out. You can be feeling extra volatile. There can be nervous system issues. You can be feeling more scattered or all over the place. So I suggest Aries, lay low July 4th. Okay. Now let's pull a tarot card for you guys for the month of July 2026. What is your tarot card message? Interesting. This guy is coming up a lot. It's the Hermit. And I did an uncensored horoscope already today on my membership. I feel like I pulled him in another recent reading too. Anyways, the Hermit's coming up a lot. And this is interesting because the Hermit has to do with soul searching, introspection, alone time, reflection. And you've got the sun transiting over your fourth house for most of the month. Mercury retrograde in your fourth house, which is home, introspection, alone time, being the crab in your shell in your home. I'm not saying you need to be a hermit for the entire month, but definitely this month, Aries, balance alone time with social time and being out in the world. I think that there's some big things coming up for you where you need to reflect on your own. I think a lot of Aries may be going through relationship, community changes as well. Yes, listen to love and advice from others, but really get the wisdom from yourself at the end of the day. And remember that alone time, meditation, reflection are very important practices for spiritual guidance and wisdom. Sending lots of love your way, Aries, and have a magical month of July. All righty, Taurus, sun, moon, and risings. How is it going, my fellow Taurus, sun, moon, and risings? This month of July, this is a doozy for everybody, okay? And it's interesting. We have our planetary ruler, Venus, in Leo until July 9th. Ooh la la, very fun, sexy, romantic, creative. And then Venus moves into Virgo, which is her fall position. Okay, she doesn't really like to be there. There is challenge. There's also positive that comes with this as well. While Venus is in Virgo from July 9th, going all the way into next month, we can be more critical, noticing the itty bitty details. It's good for us to be focusing in on our health, our routines, our day to day work, pets. There can be more of an emphasis on these things. Very interesting this month on July 10th. We will have our planetary ruler Venus exactly conjunct the south node at 0 degrees critical degree. Woo! So this is a really big deal for everybody, but in particular for us, because Venus is our ruler. So on July 10th and the days surrounding July 10th, you can notice something coming to a big ending, karmic completion point. The south node deals with karma, endings. Venus has to do with our committed relationships, money, income, sense of security, and pleasure. So we're going through some sort of very big ending with that Venus conjunct South Node on the karmic level, or like Virgo, critical realization about something that needs to be cleansed out. I do think around July 10th is a very good time to, whether you want to do a physical or spiritual detox. And it's cool around that time. We are in the orb of the new moon in Cancer portal as well. Now, in the month of July, we have the sun when he's in Cancer transiting over our third house, and when he moves into Leo, transiting over our fourth house. For most of the month, the sun is in our third house in Cancer, so shining a light on our local community, day-to-day happenings, communication, our voice. Now, we are in a Mercury retrograde, okay, Tauruses. So I actually feel like Tauruses, maybe, and it gives me no pleasure in saying this, and I'm already noticing it with myself personally, actually. We are going to be one of the signs the most affected by the current Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Why is that? Because we have the sun transiting over our third house with Mercury retrograde transiting over our third house. Mercury rules the third house. So, Tauruses, let me know in the comments if this has been going on for you. It's been definitely going on for me. There can be miscommunication. There can be technological device breakdowns. There can be potential issues with cars. Knock on wood, hopefully not. There can be delays in short distance travel. The third house, I call it the busy house. It rules a lot having to do with our day-to-day life, community, neighbors, friends, gadgets, communication. So Taurus, I'm going to say for all of July, double check everything, be patient. We're going to be feeling this Mercury retrograde more. Mercury's retrograde, July 1st to July 23rd. Not the best time during the retrograde to make major decisions, sign important documents if possible. Just lay low, take it easy until July 23rd. Okay. Now we are going to have new moon in Cancer on July 14th in our third house. Interesting that new moon in Cancer is conjunct Mercury retrograde, 3 degrees off of being exact. So yes, that new moon in Cancer is about new beginnings, setting our intentions. The moon is at home in Cancer. But with Mercury retrograde in conjunction, what from the past needs to actually be cleared out and brought to the surface to be able to move forward when it comes to our home, living situations, family, our emotional well-being. I can see many Tauruses having very important conversations, third house, with family members, in your home, with loved ones in the home around the time of that new moon as well. Full moon in Aquarius on July 29th, happening in our 10th house. Ooh la la, the house of our public reputation, being seen publicly, career, long-term goals. Now, this is a very intense full moon, one of the most intense full moons of the year. It is conjunct Pluto. It's got Jupiter Cazimi, which is great, but Jupiter in opposition to Pluto as well. So it's a little bit all over the place. It is very intense. I think many Tauruses, we may be going through potential work power struggles, or maybe even like toxic situations with a boss or with work, wanting to end a professional role we have, wanting to cleanse out things that we're doing professionally that no longer serve us, can be a theme. But we're also being empowered to be in the limelight in our gifts and our talents. And there can be shocking, unexpected blessings, opportunities coming up professionally with that full moon. Lucky day of the month is July 24th, when we've got Mercury sextile your ruler Venus, and we have quite a few intense days of the month. So mark your calendar, Taurus. July 1st, Chiron in Taurus, our sign now, square Jupiter. July 10th, when we have South Node conjunct Venus. July 13th, Venus square Uranus. And yes, there's 4. July 29th, when we have Venus square Mars. Okay, so there is some intensity. Also that full moon in the 10th house. I think a lot of Tauruses were being tested. We're up leveling. I'm hearing from a lot of fellow Taurus, sun, moon, and risings. There is a lot of, actually, is a theme, toxicity being cleansed out of our lives. We're being up leveled professionally in a very big way. And I think that new moon in Cancer and Mercury retrograde in Cancer in the third house is kind of cool, because it's asking us to go deeper into our voice, our inner truth, our communication, and what is in alignment in the day-to-day. Okay, let's pull some cards for the month of July. For Taurus, month of July for Taurus, month of July for Taurus. I'm feeling there's a lot of Tauruses that need to say something that you've not said. I'm just getting that very strong. There's an important conversation to be had. There's something to express. If you've been thinking about saying something to somebody or multiple people, this is a sign. Yes, do it. Page of Cups, Taurus. So Page of Cups is a very magical, dreamy, intuitive card. Childlike energy, childlike wonderment, youthfulness, has to do with psychic and spiritual messages as well. Interesting. Page of Cups. Pay attention to the psychic messages that are coming through. That kind of makes sense. Cancer is in your third house. Sun, Mercury retrograde transiting over your third house messages. Cancer is a water sign, spiritual, intuitive, dreamy. You can be having your psychic senses getting even stronger this month, Taurus. Your discernment getting even stronger. Your inner child, feeling like your inner child needs to be seen, needs to be heard. And being open also to like inner child fun and youthfulness and creativity. Cool, Tauruses. Sending lots of love your way and have a magical month of July. Hey, Geminis, how is it going? This is your forecast for the month of July 2026. And some of you probably know already that your planetary ruler, Mercury, is retrograde in the sign of Cancer until July 23rd. So with Mercury retrograde, we as a whole collective are being invited to do this, but especially you, because it's your planetary ruler, being invited to bring some review and reflection into our lives, in particular in the Cancer ruled areas, our home, our family, where we live, our emotional well-being, our self-care as well, our boundaries. Cancer can have to do with boundaries and privacy too. Things can feel a little more wonky than usual with Mercury retrograde, but it's a great time for reflection, spending time at home, clearing out the home as well. Definitely don't want to make any major decisions, sign important documents if possible until after July 23rd. Now, while the sun is in Cancer this month, he's transiting over your second house. And when he moves into Leo, he transits over your third house. For most of the month, the sun is in Cancer in your second house, shining a light on your finances, physical resources, income, your value, your self-worth, pleasure, and enjoyment in life. And this is really cool because there's also the Mercury retrograde happening in Cancer in your second house. I think that this is an amazing month, Gemini, to be doing things like budgeting, reviewing your finances. Okay. I'm hearing that there can be possibly money from the past that is owed to you coming back if you've been waiting for something like that. This is a money. This is a month of pleasure, enjoyment, self-care, and really looking at also like reviewing your income. If you're a working Gemini, does it feel good? Cancer is all about feelings. Does it feel good how you make your money? Are you wanting to change your income, your work? That can be coming up as themes as well. New moon in Cancer on July 14th is happening in your second house also. So again, that new moon, even though new moons are about new beginnings, setting your intentions, it's conjunct Mercury retrograde, your ruler retrograde. So you can be really feeling the effects of that new moon very strong with your ruler in conjunction to it. Again, amazing for budgeting, reviewing your work, your finances, your physical resources. I think that's a great new moon in Cancer on July 14th to be cleaning out your home, cleaning out your physical spaces, maybe even doing a cleanse of your physical body. Second house can have to do with physical body as well. And some of you may be thinking about budgeting to buy a new home, to buy a property. That might be something that you're starting to see as an important value or something that you want to create. Owning a property, selling a property. There's a lot financially going on with properties for sure. For many Geminis, you might not see things move forward in those areas if that is coming up for you until after the retrograde, July 23rd, but definitely a very big theme. The other lunation in the month is we have a full moon in Aquarius on July 29th happening in your ninth house. Now, I like this for you, Gemini, because the ninth house, it is one of the lighter houses in astrology. That full moon in Aquarius on July 29th is one of the most intense of the whole year, big time. So I like that it's happening in your ninth house. It's not super heavy for you. There can be the ending, the breakdown, the illumination of beliefs, philosophy, relationships to teachers or guides. Some of you may be completing a course that you've been studying. Some of you may be really feeling like you want to step into moving forward, being in a teacher or a guide or a mentorship role yourself. There can be weird experiences if you're traveling in a foreign location, very unexpected things coming up. I want you guys to watch out for Geminis if any of you are traveling in a foreign location. And I don't say this out of fear, I say this out of love, okay? Because this full moon on July 29th is conjunct Pluto with Jupiter opposite Pluto. Pluto can have to do with food poisoning, can be health issues sometimes. So if you are traveling in a faraway foreign place around that full moon at the end of the month, just, watch out what you're eating, what you're taking in, what you're drinking. You're more physically sensitive and your body is cleansing a lot already. Okay. There can also be like intense legal matters coming up for a lot of Geminis with that full moon as well. But overall, I think you're one of the signs that's going to feel it in one of the more lighter expressions, which is a good thing. You've got a lot of lucky days this month compared to a lot of the other signs. July 12th, Mercury Cazimi, very lucky. July 15th, Uranus in Gemini, your sign, sextile Neptune, super lucky, positive, spiritual breakthroughs, new opportunities coming forward for you. July 18th, Uranus in your sign of Gemini, trine Pluto. That's a super empowering aspect. July 21st, Jupiter sextile Uranus in Gemini, your sign. Very lucky. Jupiter-Uranus aspects are known as windfall aspects. So there can be new things coming to you. And so cool that, Uranus is in your sign of Gemini, making positive aspects to all the outer planets this month. So you're being very divinely blessed and supported at this time, Gemini. I'm curious to hear what's going on with you guys in the comments below. Please let me know. What does really stand out to me is that Uranus trine Pluto in your ninth house aspect. So higher learning, deepening wisdom. I can see a lot of Geminis starting this month going really deep into a new subject, maybe wanting to become a teacher or a master yourself of something. So this is really cool. And no particular intense days of the month, Gemini, but I would just say, just be mindful. Mercury is retrograde until July 23rd. Okay, so that is your planetary ruler. We kind of talked about that already. Okay, let's pull a tarot card for our Geminis for the month of July. What have we got for you guys? Interesting. I'm hearing Spirit say, listen, listen. A lot of you are receiving new ideas, important conversations coming up. Listen, listen, listen. The Five of Swords. Interesting. Walking away from conflict. Walking away. Self-sabotaging behavior. Surrender. So there, and interesting, Uranus in your sign, Uranus has to do with severing, cutting, letting go, even divorce. Let me pull a clarifier on that. The Star. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. This is a Uranus Aquarius card, and I've been pulling this. I think this is the third time literally that I've pulled the Star today. Crazy. So if there are conflicts or intense situations coming up, a feeling of defeat, a feeling like I'm hearing a relationship ending, it's actually for your highest good, Geminis, to bring in more light, star power, star energy. So yes, we've got all these positive outer planetary aspects happening this month, which means the energy is flowing naturally. It doesn't mean it's all positive and fairy cakes. There can be initiation coming up. So know that if there are any challenges coming up, it's an initiation, and it's bringing in new light. It's bringing in new flavors. It's bringing in new opportunities, new hope, new inspiration, new creativity. So, Geminis, let me know if that's already started. I'm sending lots of love your way and have a magical month of July. Hello, Cancers. Happy birthday to all our July Cancies out there. Hope you guys are doing really well. This month, we do have a Mercury retrograde happening in your sign. It's going to be happening from 26 degrees to 16 degrees this month. So if you have any placements between 26 to 16, you're going to have exact Mercury retrograde conjunct your Cancer placement. Mercury retrograde in your sign means you can be feeling this retrograde more intensely. Watch out for miscommunication, issues or breakdowns with devices, day-to-day things. But that Mercury retrograde in your sign is asking us to take sacred pause and review and reflect on our emotional well-being, our home, our family, living situation, sense of our boundaries and privacy as well. So these can be very much coming up as themes. Now, for most of the month, the sun is transiting in your sign of Cancer in your first house. So you are in the spotlight. You are the stars of the show. This is a great month for you, even though Mercury is retrograde in your sign, for you to be seen, shining in your energy, your gifts and talents. People are attracted to you and wanting to see you. I'm hearing spirits say, in all your glory. Sun transiting over the first is also shining a light on your physical health and foundations in life. So this is a month where it is really good to be exercising, eating well, maybe starting some positive new health routines. We have a new moon in your sign of Cancer. Happy new moon in Cancer. Lots happening for the Cancers this month. That'll be exact on July 14th, also in your first house. So yes, the moon is at home in Cancer and loves to be there. Yes, we want to set our intentions with this new moon, but remember, Mercury is retrograde conjunct the moon. So there are things from the past that can be coming up that we maybe need to review, reflect, close the doors on before the new things that we're wanting to create, step into, can fully manifest. So it's something important to be aware of. Full moon in Aquarius on July 29th is in your 8th house. This is going to be a very intense full moon for all of you Cancers out there, okay? Not only is it in your 8th house, but you currently have Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, in the 8th house, transiting over your 8th house. And this full moon in Aquarius will be conjunct Pluto, with Pluto in an opposition to Jupiter, making it bigger. So that full moon around July 29th at the end of the month, there can actually be many Cancers. There could be like a crisis moment. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. There could be a very intense moment, definitely a time of shadow work, secrets being revealed, intense life situations. You're going through a death and a rebirth, Cancers. And that could be like physically, some of you guys are going through the physical death of a loved one, or symbolically, you're going through transformation. And there can be some intense things, hidden things coming up to the surface. But I love that you have Aquarius in the 8th house, liberation, freedom. So whatever intensities come up are actually liberating you and freeing you to be able to move forward into the future. That full moon, I want you guys to watch out for your merged resources, your investments, your sexual connections, who you're being intimate with. Kind of watch out for all those different areas, because there can be things revealed around those different areas, but it is very, very intense moment of transformation. That's one of the most intense lunations of the whole year, happening in your 8th house with Pluto there as well. So it is a full moon time to lay low, be in some good self-care. I think it's a great time to do psychotherapy, shamanic healing, astrology, tarot, to help support. And it can be weird things coming up. Aquarius in the 8th house as well. Now, you do have a lot of lucky days of the month. We've got July 12th, lucky day, when Mercury Cazimi is in your sign of Cancer. July 14th, when we have new moon in Cancer. And July 24th, when Mercury is in Cancer, sextile Venus. Most intense day of the month is definitely going to be that full moon in Aquarius in your 8th house on July 29th. So Watch out for that one. Okay, Cancers, let's pull a card for all of you for the month of July 2026. Let's see what we get. Oh my gosh, we're getting the Page of Cups again. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, the Tauruses also got the Page of Cups, which has to do with childlike energy, intuition, psychic messages, can be good news. I'm getting chills. There's a lot of good news coming up this month. There may be some intense happenings or intense news that may seem challenging at first, but it's actually good and it liberates you. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your intuition. Cancers, you're already highly psychic. You're even more highly psychic this month with the Page of Cups coming through. And how can you honor your inner child even more? Okay, that's coming up as a theme as well. So sending lots of love and light your way, Cancers, and have a magical month of July. Hello, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Risings. How is it going? Happy July 2026 and happy birthday to all of our July Leos out there. Hope you have an absolutely magical solar return birthday time. Well, we're starting off the month with Jupiter is now in your sign. Woo, woo. This is awesome. Jupiter, the great benefic, just entered your sign of Leo as of June 30th. So the end of June, but your first full month of this transit is Jupiter. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, then you know I will tell it like it is. And I'm being honest when I say that the first month of Jupiter in Leo transit, we're not going to feel the positive vibes as strong until August. Okay. This is because in July, we have Jupiter square Chiron, adverse aspect, Jupiter opposite Pluto, very intense adverse aspect. So, some Leos out there, if you're like, wait a second, I thought things were going to feel better in July. Wait until August, September, October. August is when those two adverse aspects really come out of strong influence. So Jupiter in Leo time for the whole next year until July 2027. This is lucky. This is expansive. This is positive. This is romantic and creative. Woohoo! One of the most positive things we have in astrology when Jupiter is in our sun, moon, or rising sign. So congratulations, Leos. Very excited for you. Now, we also have this month the South Node moving into your sign on July 26th. So you're going to want to track if you have your own astrology program, or you can look it up online, the nodes through the different degrees for the next 18 months. If you have major Leo placements, there will be a time over the next 18 months when the South Node in Leo is conjunct your Leo placement. The South Node is opposite to the North Node. The nodes are about our destiny, our fate. South Node is past karma, letting go and release. So over the next 18-month period, whenever the South Node is conjunct your major Leo placement, you're going to go through a major karmic release, ending, completion. People, places, things from the past can be coming forward as well. So that'll be really interesting. And for most of the month, Leos of July, we have Mercury retrograde in Cancer happening in your 12th house. So this can be confusing. Okay, July, I'm just going to be honest. July is a bit of a funky month for Leos. You've just had Jupiter entering your sign, but you're not feeling the full effects of that. You're having, for most of the month, Mercury retro in your 12th, Sun in Cancer transiting over your 12th, new moon in Cancer on July 14th in your 12th house. The 12th house is Pisces, Aries. This is illusions. This can be confusion. This can be high sensitivity, behind the scenes works and happening, alone time, introspection. It's highly creative, highly spiritual. So this is an amazing month to work behind the scenes on creative or spiritual or work pursuits. Cancer in the 12th house, to be at home behind the scenes, healing, reflecting. But with Mercury retrograde there might be a little bit of confusion. Okay, there might be, interesting, I am hearing the word anxiety. I'm not wanting that for any of you guys, but I think that you guys are really sensitive this month, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I'm also hearing Spirit say you're feeling the collective waves, you're feeling the collective quantum leaps. So, this is a time where there can be intense things from the past coming up for healing, but you're also processing the collective's feelings as well. Pisces in the 12th house rules the collective unconscious. So, with this Mercury retrograde time, there can be funky dreams, there can be funky visions and meditation. So, Leos, you're not going crazy. It's just kind of a trippy, sensitive month for you guys. The more that you do really positive self care, spend time behind the scenes in introspection, maybe go on a retreat. This can go more easily for you this month. Full moon in Aquarius on July 29th. Your opposite sign is happening in your 7th house of relationships. Now, this full moon, oh my God, this is one of the most intense full moons of the whole Gregorian year of 2026. A lot of you Leos, there will be breakups, there will be divorce, there will be endings of committed relationships, contracts, obligations, work partnerships. There can also be exposing of secrets in relationships. There can be, clarity coming forward through unexpected, surprising circumstances of relationships or things that you're contractually obliged to that actually might even be toxic and really unhealthy for you. So, Leos, pay attention around the end of the month with that full moon. Your relationships, the people around you, like, are these actually positive? Pluto's transiting over your 7th house, conjunct this full moon in opposite to Jupiter this month. A lot of relationship healing, letting go, and completion. I'm hearing Spirit say when doors close, new ones open and new positive relationships and obligations can come forward. If you're a Leo that works with clients in any sort of way, 7th house has to do with, committed relationships, also clients. You'll notice clients are coming to you with more intense life situations, intensity in general. But I do like this full moon for clearing karmic patterns in relationships in your contracts. Lucky days of the month, Leo, July 21st, when Jupiter is in your sign, sextile Uranus. Very positive, in particular, if you have any placements in the early degrees of Leo. And July 29th, when it is an intense full moon, but we do have Jupiter cazimi in your sign, Jupiter conjunct the sun in your sign. Intense days of the month, we've got quite a few for our Leos. July 1st with Chiron square Jupiter in your sign. July 20th when Jupiter in your sign is opposite Pluto. July 23rd when the sun is square Chiron, and July 27th with sun opposite Pluto. So be mindful of those days. Even though this is a bit of, I'm going to be honest, a challenging, confusing, illusory month for Leos, there is still blessings, there's still positivity, but only if you're really doing the work. If you're really like in self-development, self-awareness. So, if you don't already have some sort of protocol for self-development that's real deal, this is a month to be doing that for sure. We're all going through a lot, Leos. We're all going through a lot. Okay, let's pull a tarot card for our Leos for the month of July. You can't make this stuff up. I'm also going to pull a bonus card. Wow. Okay. We've got the Two of Cups, Leos, which is literally a relationship card. Love, partnership, unity, love, compatibility, happy couples. Do you want that? Do you really want that? Do you have that? Do you really have that? I'm hearing that Spice Girls song. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Get honest with yourself about your relationships. Okay? Is it a victory? Is it positive or is it not? Yes, it's scary to go through a breakup. Yes, it's scary to go to a divorce. Yes, it's scary when information comes to light and you have to deal with that. But you deserve the best. You are a Leo. You're here to shine. You are here to have people around you that support you and want you to be the star that you are. So if you're in positive relationships, great. This is going to be an up level. There may be challenge, there can be initiation, but great. If you don't have that, that is coming, but you need to be real with yourself about where you're at, what you have, maybe where you can do better, where the others can do better. Hope that makes sense, Leo. Love you guys. Hey, Virgos, how's it going? Welcome to your horoscope for July 2026. Crazy month for the whole world. And for most of the month, we've got your planetary ruler, Mercury, in the sign of Cancer, retrograde. So that's going to be until July 23rd. Now, with your ruler Mercury retrograde, this is a time where you can be feeling a little bit more funky. There can be more of just issues going on in your day to day, miscommunication, things breaking down, things feeling kind of wonky and weird. Now, Mercury retrograde in Cancer is asking us, and you in particular, since you're ruled by Mercury, to review and reflect on these Cancer ruled areas: your home, your family, your emotional well being, your self care. So that's a way to consciously work with it and just double check everything that is important that you may need to do. Not the best time to make major decisions or make major life decisions while Mercury is retrograde. Now, we've got a lot going on in your 11th house this month, Virgos. The sun is transiting over the 11th for most of the month, Mercury retrograde in the 11th, and we have a new moon in Cancer in your 11th house. The 11th house is about your friends, your community, like-minded people, networks, long-term dreams and wishes, your relationship to technology and social media, and anything that has to do with the online world, online presence. Now, Mercury retrograde in this area can bring kind of like mishaps, miscommunication with technology, social media. So watch out what you're putting out into that online sphere. There's also an emphasis on reviewing and reflecting your friendships and groups that you're associating with. With the new moon in Cancer in your 11th house on July 14th, yes, we want to set our intentions. And yes, it's actually lucky to have a new moon in your 11th house because it rules our wishes and dreams. Yes, set your intentions, but with Mercury retrograde there's likely somebody from the past, something from the past, from that 11th house ruled area that needs to come up for completion, reflection, review before fully moving forward with your intentions and what you want to create. Full moon in Aquarius on July 29th is happening in your 6th house, which is the Virgo house ruled areas. So that is one of the most intense lunations of the year for sure, happening in your 6th house of your health, your day-to-day work, routines, and your pets as well. So you may notice some intense life situations possibly happening in those areas. Virgo, you are the sign that rules physical and mental health, and I want you to be very careful of your physical and mental health around the full moon at the end of the month. I'm not saying anything bad is going to happen, but I'm just saying astrologically, there can be more of a propensity for issues, maybe feeling run down, health things coming up to the surface that need to be attended to. Might even be a little bit of drama in your workplace if you're a working Virgo as well, or even toxic things coming up that come up to your awareness that need to be dealt with in your day-to-day work. But you are being up-leveled to empower your relationship with your health, your day-to-day routines and work as well. Lucky days of the month are July 12th when we have Mercury Cazimi, July 24th when we have Venus sextile Mercury, and intense days are July 10th when we have Venus conjunct the South Node in Virgo, your sign. And I have good news. The South Node is almost done being in Virgo. We've had South Node in Virgo for the past 18 months. That has been quite intense for our Virgo Sun, Moon, and Risings. You've had at some point exact South Node conjunct your Virgo placement, a major time of letting go, karmic release intensity. So as of July 26th, South Node moves into Leo and you won't be dealing with that anymore, which is awesome. So let's pull a tarot card for your month of July 2026. Let's see what we got over here, Virgos. We have got, interesting, the Seven of Pentacles. Making investments, things coming to fruition, hard work paying off, harvest, rewards, profits, results, payouts. Well, who doesn't want a little bit of that? That makes me think about how you're coming to a completion of this South Node in Virgo transit. We've got so many positive outer planetary aspects happening at the same time. You're being rewarded. You're being rewarded, Virgos. So accept the gifts, accept the opportunities and the blessings. And remember that anything that is really positive and lasts into the long term requires patience, hard work, and dedication. Nothing just comes for free, which you guys tend to know that and be good at that. But Seven of Pentacles is saying, remember that, and your hard work is being paid off. Love it. Sending lots of love your way, Virgos, and have a magical month of July. Libras, how's it going? This month, very interesting month. We've got a lot going on. First of all, your ruler Venus is in Leo until July 9th and then moves into Virgo, her fall position. And we're going to be having on July 10th, Venus conjunct the South Node. Now, for you and the Taurus sun, moon, and risings, you Libras and Tauruses are ruled by Venus. There can be a major ending, completion, karmic letting go on July 10th or the days surrounding that. So it may feel kind of intense at the beginning of the month with Venus conjunct the South Node, but we've got a lot of positive stuff happening as well throughout the month, which I'm excited to tell you about. There's a very big emphasis this month on your 10th astrological house, where you've got the sun transiting in Cancer through for most of the month, Mercury retrograde in until July 23rd, and also a new moon in Cancer in your 10th house on July 14th. So this is a month where you're being seen. There's an emphasis on your public reputation, your work, your long-term goals as well. Watch out for miscommunication, mishaps, wonkiness in your workplace, but it's also a great time to review and reflect on your long-term goals, where you're at with them, your work. There can be rewards, gifts coming through with that new moon in Cancer, positive new professional beginnings happening, new opportunities. If you've been wanting a new job, if you've been wanting a new income stream, you're being seen for your gifts and talents, which is really cool. Full moon in Aquarius on July 29th at the end of the month is happening in your 5th house. Now, I like this for you. There's also some challenge for you and for all the 12 signs, because this is one of the most intense lunations of the month. You are having it in the 5th house of Leo, which is the fun house, very positive, light house. Can be some drama though. 5th house of Leo does have to do with drama. Okay, it's going to be Leo season by the end of the month. This full moon in Aquarius is very wacky, very weird, unpredictable, and even volatile because it's in a conjunction to Pluto, also in your 5th house. So for many Libras, there could be the ending of a romantic relationship, sexual affair, inner child issue. Your inner child is really coming out and wants to be worked with. That's one of the ways that you can consciously work with this full moon, tuning into your inner child. How can you bring in more fun? How can you bring in more play and creativity into your life? And if there is any drama, good. It's things coming up to the surface to be released so you can move forward. Lucky day of the month for you, Libra, is when we have July 24th, Mercury sextile Venus. Also from July 18th to 23rd, when we have the cradle aspect pattern. If you have any Libra placements around 4 degrees, you're going to be exactly positively aspected by that cradle, which is amazing. Intense days of the month are July 1st, when we have Chiron square Jupiter, July 10th, when the South Node is conjunct Venus, July 13th, Venus square Uranus, and July 29th with Venus square Mars. So quite a few intense days of the month, but I like that there's an emphasis on The 10th house, you're getting things done, you're feeling inspired, you're being seen for your gifts and talents, and the 5th house of fun, play, creativity, and your inner child. So let me know how you're doing, Libra, what you got going on, and let's pull a tarot card for your month ahead. For our Libras. Oh, interesting. One of the other signs got this as well. I forget which one it was. The 5 of Swords. Defeat, surrender, walking away from conflict. Many of you Libras may be feeling like there's a work situation or a romantic relationship, situationship that you maybe need to walk away from. I'm hearing that for some Libras, there's unnecessary drama that is not yours. So, what is worth the fight? What is not worth the fight? Drama can be really draining. And is it something that actually is yours that you need to deal with moving forward? Or does it have to do with other people? If so, let that shit go, Libras. But also, 5 of Swords is like the end of a struggle, the end of a conflict. So nice. Let that go, Libra. You guys are beautiful, lovely Libras. Shine your light, shine your beauty. And this is going to be a magical month of July. Love you guys. Okay, Scorpios, my fellow Scorpios, how are we doing out there? This month of July is freaking intense. Okay, so first of all, we have our traditional ruler Mars in Gemini all month in our 8th house, actually making stronger our Scorpio vibe. We're feeling extra intense. We can be coming off as more intense than usual, but I love Mars in the 8th house for fast endings, completion, cleansing of things that no longer serve. So you may notice this month, Scorpio, fast releases of stagnant energy, which is great. There's a very big emphasis this month of July on your 9th house. You have the sun in Cancer transiting over the 9th for most of the month, Mercury retrograde until July 23rd in your 9th house, and new moon in Cancer on July 14th in your 9th house. 9th house has to do with luck, expansion, positivity, higher learning and travel, our beliefs and philosophy, as well as legal matters and publishing things out into the world. So it is an intense month. We've also got multiple exact aspects with your modern day ruling planet ruler, which is Pluto. So a lot of change for Scorpios, life change, breakthroughs, inspiration, and luck. Okay, with that 9th house emphasis. Many Scorpios may be starting a new course, wanting to learn a new subject deeper, traveling to a foreign land. If you are traveling, just double check everything because you have a Mercury retrograde in your 9th house. Okay, there can be some delays, can be some wonkiness. So just watch out for that. But I do love that new moon in Cancer on July 4th for setting intentions, starting new things. Yes, be mindful of the past, double check everything with Mercury retrograde. But the 9th house is about publishing and international release of things. So can be a lucky month for creative projects, things you want to put out there, new philosophy, new positive belief system, and spiritual practices. At the end of the month on July 29th, we have a very intense full moon in Aquarius, okay? And that is happening in your 4th house, conjunct your modern day ruler, Pluto. So there can be some intensity going on with the home, with family members. You can be feeling more emotionally volatile or intense. There can be feelings, memories, nostalgia coming up from the past, very strong, that needs to be released. I would say around that time of the July 29th full moon, Scorpios, really good for you to just be taking care of yourself. Don't overbook your schedule. Make time for self-care. Maybe go to the spa, go to a retreat, do like a home vacation kind of thing, because we're feeling intense and we're already intense. Illumination of your home and where you live. Maybe you don't like where you live and there needs to be a change. There can be weird things coming up, Aquarius, with family members as well. So being mindful of that. Lucky days of the month are, there's multiple of them. July 18th, when Uranus is trine our ruler Pluto, that is a day of huge breakthroughs for Scorpios, new positive opportunities. And the whole month, really, we've got that aspect. July 19th, Mars sextile Saturn. July 25th, Neptune sextile Pluto. And intense days of the month are July 4th, when Mars is conjunct Uranus. July 20th, Jupiter opposite Pluto. And July 27th, Sun opposite Pluto. So watch out for some of those volatile, intense days. And I'm getting this message, we're coming off as intense. We're passionate. We're very creative, but we're coming off as intense. So just be mindful, Scorpios, this month, how you're coming off to others, the words that you're using. We want to keep those stingers in check. Okay, Scorpios, but there's a lot of positive breakthrough with our beliefs, with our homes, with what we're learning, information we're sharing. Okay, let's pull a card for us for the month. I know Scorpios are going to like this. Queen of Pentacles. Yes, please. Queen of Pentacles is all about abundance, prosperity, generosity, businesswoman, being a business person, loyal, success, positive financial news, abundance. Yay, yay, yay. Cool that Uranus is in our 8th house. Mars is in our 8th house. Pluto trine Uranus in our 8th. And the 8th has to do with hidden money, other people's resources, inheritances, gifts. It's a financial house. So I think a lot of Scorpios can be receiving positive financial news, making money through your gifts and talents if you're not already doing that, financial breakthroughs, and being more grounded and powerful in yourself, your gifts and talents, who you truly are, and generosity when it is in alignment and healthy. Very cool, Scorpios. I love that Queen of Pentacles cards for us. Sending lots of love your way and have a magical month of July. Okay, Sagittarius, Saggy Waggies. How are you doing, Sagittarius? Happy July. First of all, your ruler Jupiter is now in Leo as of June 30th and is going to be there for the whole next year until July 27th. You guys are the lucky ducklings of the zodiac because you're ruled by the great benefic Jupiter. And Jupiter now is in arguably the most positive sign, Leo. So this is super good for all of you for the whole next year. Now, month of July, we do have some intense aspects to Jupiter happening. Jupiter square Chiron, Jupiter opposite Pluto. So you might not feel the really positive, uplifting effects of your ruler Jupiter now in Leo until August going into September. Okay. I think that this is actually quite an intense month overall for Sagittarius, but also a lot of positive. For a lot of the month, there's a very strong emphasis on your 8th house of Scorpio, where you have the sign of Cancer. So the sun is transiting over there most of the month. Mercury is retrograde over the 8th house for most of the month. New moon in Cancer in your 8th house on July 14th. 8th house of Scorpio is all about secrets, the shadow, the hidden side of life, the occult, mysteries, your psychic power. Did I say secrets? Did I say the shadow side? I think I did. So this is an intense month. You're going through a death, a rebirth, a transformation. There can be information, secrets coming to the light that empower you, that liberate you. A lot of the healing, a lot of the intensity has to do with family members, your home, property, real estate, that kind of thing. This is an amazing month, Sagittarius, for real deal healing modalities like psychotherapy, shamanic healing. You know, there's so many different kind of real deal healing modalities to support you at this time of deep transformation. 8th house also has to do with hidden money, merged resources with others, partners' money, investments. So there can be, new investment opportunities, returns on investment coming up. Just be mindful of like making any important financial decisions until July 23rd, because Mercury is retrograde in that house. But this is powerful stuff this month. This is intense. Full moon in Aquarius on July 29th in your third house, lighter house. It is an intense full moon though, because it is conjunct Pluto. Okay, so you guys have a strong eighth house Pluto influence for the whole month. That full moon on July 29th and the days surrounding it in your third house is bringing ending, completion, illumination to your local community, friends, siblings, cousins, neighbors. I call the third house the busy house. It's communication, it's our voice, it's how we're expressing ourselves. So there can be some intense conversations happening with that full moon, shocking secrets, information coming to light. But a great new moon for you, full moon for you to be speaking your truth, to be open to new, unexpected opportunities, connections, friends in your local community, neighborhood as well. Lucky day of the month is July 21st when Jupiter is sextile Uranus. Yeah, that is a very positive day for you guys. Intense days are July 1st with Chiron square Jupiter, July 20th with Jupiter opposite Pluto. So a lot of healing, a lot of breakthrough, a lot of intensity. Saggies, let me know how you're doing. Let's pull a tarot card. All of you. You guys can handle it. You're Sagittarius. You guys love the truth. You love going deep. Let's see. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, what is going on? Saggies, what is going on? Okay. Three of Swords. I pulled bonus cards. Justice and the Chariot. Okay. You cannot make this stuff up. Earlier today, I did an uncensored horoscope for my members on my website, and we also got the Three of Swords with the Chariot. And I shuffle all the cards between. So crazy. Okay, Three of Swords, not the easiest card. It deals with pain, betrayal, heartbreak, separation. Are some of you guys going through a separation? Are some of you guys, there could be pain about something coming to the surface. If it's not you, there's someone close to you going through an intense life event that you're being in a supportive role for them. Okay, so there's intensity. There's truths coming up, but this is good. It needs to come up. And I know this is a general reading for all Sagittarius, but Saggies, pay attention to the truths coming up. What serves you? What doesn't serve you? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? I'm feeling a lot of Saggies have been fucked with. Excuse my language. Something has happened in the recent past, or might even happen this month, where you feel betrayed by somebody. But look, the Justice card. So there's like instant karmic justice for whatever has happened or is going to happen. Instant karmic justice. And you're not, yes, it's challenging. Yes, it can hurt, but the Chariot, you're moving forward. Success, victory. You're not being held down. Okay. And it's funny because your ruler Jupiter just entered Leo, is now transiting over your ninth house of Sagittarius. You've got really positive transits for the next year. But it's interesting that this month, it's like some shadow work coming up. So Saggies, let me know what's happening, what you're feeling. I'm sending lots of love your way, and have a magical month of July. Mwah. Love you guys. Hello, Capricorns. How is it going? This month of July 2026 is very, very special for the whole world, for each of the 12 signs, and for you very much so as well. We have got your ruler Saturn, Okay, going retrograde, not going to be until the end of the month, July 26th, and will be retrograde until December 10th. So, with Granddaddy Saturn, as I like to call him, going retrograde, your ruler, there's a theme from now until December of sacred pause, review, and reflection. In Aries, having to do with your energy, where you assert yourself, your boundaries, your personal relationship to empowerment, right? So there can be a lot of, for Capricorn's, work changes this month of July and going into December with this Saturn retrograde as well. Can be more likelihood of delays happening, which I know isn't fun to hear, but just saying. For most of the month, there's a very strong emphasis, Capricorns, on your seventh house. You have the sun in Cancer over your seventh house for most of the month, Mercury retrograde in Cancer until July 23rd in your seventh house, and new moon in Cancer on July 14th, also in your seventh house. Seventh house is about relationships, committed partnerships, your contracts, obligations, other people in your life, your style and aesthetic as well. So, Mercury retro in your seventh, there can be people from the past popping up, lovers from the past, work associates from the past. Why are they coming up? Okay. Just because somebody's coming up doesn't mean we need to be friends or working or in a relationship with them again. So, pay attention to what is going on with the other people around you. Okay. A lot of information being shared that way, a lot of emotional healing happening in your relationships. If you're a single Capricorn, there can be a new love, a new work partnership coming up, in particular around the new moon in Cancer happening on July 14th. We have a very intense full moon in Aquarius happening on July 29th, one of the most intense full moons of the year, in your second house of stability, your income, physical resources, value, and self worth. So, around the end of the month with that full moon, there can be the ending of an income stream. Um, there can be something that you found as stability or comfort in life that's coming to an end. That is a very dramatic full moon. Okay, now you do have it in one of the lighter houses, which I do like, Capricorns, but it's wanting you to take a look at your finances. It's wanting you to budget, pay attention to like how you're making money. Is that healthy for you? Does that feel good for you? Are you really supported by that on the higher level? What are the physical resources and assets that you have around you? Do you need to let go of some things, sell some things? Important full moon to be paying attention to that kind of stuff. And for some of you that are working with friends or in a group, there may be a little bit of drama as that full moon is conjunct Pluto. So hopefully not, but that can be coming up for some Capricorns. Lucky days of the month, July 19th, when we've got Mars sextile Saturn, and intense day of the month, July 6th, with Sun square Saturn. Okay, let's pull a tarot card for you guys for the month of July. And also with Mercury retrograde in your seventh, do not start anything new with anybody, if possible, until after July 23rd, once Mercury's direct. Ooh, Capricorns, the Fool. The Fool is with you. Freedom, adventure, innocence, originality, foolishness, carelessness, which is a very not Capricorn card. So interesting. You're being invited to remain open, be spontaneous, be open to new adventures and new things, in particular with your partnerships, with your income, with work. Okay, what people around you make you feel light and make you feel free, and what people around you make you feel low, if there is anything like that. Say yes to the blessings. I'm doing the Fool pose. Say yes. You are being blessed. There is adventure. Some of you may even be traveling this month. Interesting. Sending lots of love your way, Capricorn, and have a magical month of July. How's it going, Aquarius? This is a very special month for you guys as your modern day ruler Uranus is making multiple exact aspects to 3 of the outer planets. This is extremely rare. This is not just once in a lifetime. This is once in a freaking millennia, generation. Crazy. So, Aquarius, this is a month of huge breakthrough, new opportunity, inspiration, shifting literal timelines, having quantum leaps. So powerful. I'm so excited for you guys. Your traditional ruler, Saturn, goes retrograde on July 26th and will be until December 10th. So there can be from now until December review and reflection on your boundaries, on your sense of self, who you are, how you want to show up, and your work roles as well. We've also got very big stuff from for Aquarius. The North Node moves into your sign on July 26th at the end of the month. Oh my God. So over the course of the next 18 months, Aquarius, at some point you will have the North Node exactly conjunct your Aquarius placement. Destined opportunity, fate, new connections, community, collaboration, innovation, moving forward into the future. This is exciting, exciting stuff. Let me know what happens. For most of the month, there's a very strong emphasis on your 6th house where you have the sign of Cancer. You've got the sun transiting through there, Mercury retrograde there until July 23rd, and new moon in Cancer on July 14th. The 6th house has to do with your routines, your day-to-day work, your health, your pets, your coworkers. So this is where there can be a little bit of wonkiness in your workplace if you're a working Aquarius. It's good to be reviewing your work situation, your routines, what feels good for you, what doesn't feel good for you. This is a great time to maybe you want to go get a health check. Maybe you need to go to the dentist. Maybe you need to reframe your health protocols. Health, health, health. Very important. And I do see when people have Mercury retrograde in the 6th and are not paying attention to their health, taking care of their health, they can get run down. There can be a cold, there can be a flu. So not calling that in for you guys, but just saying your health is your wealth. And paying attention to that as a part of your self-care is super, super important. New moon in Cancer on July 14th. Some of you may be receiving a new job, a promotion, a breakthrough in your health, a new pet coming into your life as well. I think a lot of Aquarians are wanting to work from home. You have Cancer in the 6th house, creating new positive routines at home, a new work role starting from home. These things can be coming up very strong. We have a wild full moon in Aquarius in your sign at the end of the month on July 29th in your 1st house. Oh my God, this is going to be super weird, wild, dramatic full moon. Aquarians, please be mindful of this. It's happening in your 1st house of being seen, how you show up to the world, and your physical body. Okay. So be mindful of how you're coming across. I think some Aquarians might be feeling like overly rebellious or wanting to be overly different, unique for the sake of it versus coming from a heart-based place. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying you're feeling really riled up. It's a full moon in Aquarius, conjunct Pluto with Jupiter in an opposition to it. What is worth the fight? Okay, what is worth the drama? How do you really want to show up into the world? Yes, you're a humanitarian, but you do not need to self-sacrifice yourself for everybody else or for a cause, right? When nobody else is doing it. I think there's a lot of Aquarians, like you can literally be feeling like with that full moon in Aquarius, literally getting on the street, protesting, sharing your voice, which is great. That's part of your medicine, but make sure it's coming from a balanced place, how you're coming across, how your inner sacred rebel is coming across. There can be, an ending of a way that you've been showing up to the world, a role that you've had, or something going on with your physical health. Very good full moon to be cleansing your physical body as it's in your 1st house. It's conjunct Pluto, doing alternative healing modalities for your health around that time. can be really cool too. But it is intense, and there can possibly be intense life situations coming up for you. So just be mindful of that. Lucky days of the month, July 15th, when your ruler Uranus is sextile Neptune. Ooh, very spiritual, intuitive, and creative. July 18th, when Uranus is trine Pluto. This is extremely empowering and revealing. July 19th, Mars sextile Saturn, your traditional ruler. And July 21st, when Jupiter sextile Uranus. This is maybe even the luckiest of them all, windfall aspect. July 21st, pay attention, Aquarians. Love that one for you. Intense days of the month, July 4th, Mars conjunct Uranus, July 6th, Sun square Saturn, and July 13th, Venus square Uranus. Also the full moon in Aquarius on July 29th. And a lot of you guys, because Aquarius rules the nervous system, can be feeling like your nervous system really overly activated around that full moon. Just watch out for that. Do some earthing, extra grounding can be really, really good. Okay, tarot card for our Aquarians for the month of July. What have we got? What have we got? Let me know how things go also throughout the month, Aquarius. What comes up for you with Uranus and all these positive aspects? Ooh, Six of Cups. Returning to one's roots. I'm hearing returning to who you truly are. Base level, foundation, blast from the past. Interesting. You're being blessed with coming home to yourself. Childhood memories, children, past influences, nostalgia, reunions with loved ones from the past, reconnection even deeper to your inner child. That makes sense with Jupiter and Leo, the inner child, sextile Uranus, your ruler this month. So working with your inner child consciously is beautiful this month, and you're feeling fulfilled and you're feeling happy, which is beautiful. Love you guys and wishing you an absolutely magical month of July. Hey Pisces, how's it going? This month of July is really, really special for you for many different reasons, but one of the most important ones being that both of your planetary rulers, Jupiter and Neptune, are making multiple exact positive aspects to other outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, each other. Sorry, Uranus, Pluto, and each other. This is so lucky. This is so fortuitous. This is once in a lifetime. I know I sound like a dramatic astrologer, but I am telling the truth. Pisces, very special month. Be open to the blessings, be open to the opportunities, be open to the magic. Your traditional ruler, Jupiter, enters Leo. That already happened on June 30th, but July is the first full month where Jupiter is now in Leo, the sign of fun, play, romance, shining in your gifts and talents, feeling more confident, beautiful influence for the whole next year. Neptune does go retrograde on July 7th and will be there until December 12th. So yes, there's huge blessings and luck coming through with all these positive aspects with Jupiter, Neptune, your rulers and the outer planets. Neptune going retrograde is saying that there is a need for review and reflection on your behind the scenes work, spiritual connection, your creativity as well. Great time for healing work, Pisces, when Neptune is retrograde. I love the energy of this month for you. I think you're actually the sign that I'm the most excited for this month, because not only are both of your rulers in positive aspects, making other once in a lifetime positive aspects, but there's a huge emphasis on your fifth house, the fun house of Leo, where you as Pisces have the sign of Cancer. The sun is transiting through there. Mercury retrograde is there until July 23rd, and you have new moon in Cancer there on July 14th. So this is a month about fun, confidence, glory, your creativity, shining in your gifts and talents, and new opportunities and potential will come. Deeply connecting to your inner child and your inner child's needs. Gifts of children. Maybe some of you are getting pregnant, having new children coming into your life. So cool. We do want to watch out for when Mercury is retrograde in the 5th house. There can be lovers, people from the past coming up for review, coming up to test us. So that can be something, Pisces, that can be coming up. Love this 5th house influence. We do have a full moon in Aquarius happening in your 12th house at the end of the month on July 29th. So I think a lot of the month you're feeling very energized, very inspired, playful. When we get to the end of the month, it's a lot more sensitive with that full moon in your 12th house of Pisces. And that is one of the most intense full moons of the year. So there can be dreams that may be kind of intense or volatile where you're actually processing through in the dream time, you're healing in the dream time. You can have amazing, deep seated karmic releases at a retreat center, at a spa, working with an energy healer through meditation, through your dream time. Great time around that full moon at the end of the month for real deal, in-depth spiritual healing work. You're also having creative breakthroughs as well. And it is an intense full moon in Aquarius happening in your 12th house, Pisces house, of karmic, deep-seated issues, the unconscious. So there can be some shocking secrets, shocking things coming up that may be kind of intense, but you're definitely being supported, Pisces. I'm not concerned for you guys at all. I'm actually very excited in total for this month. You have multiple very lucky days. July 15th, when Uranus is sextile Neptune. July 20th, when Jupiter is trine Neptune. July 21st, Jupiter sextile Uranus. July 25th, Neptune sextile Pluto. And July 29th, when we have the Jupiter Cazimi Sun conjunct Jupiter. Most intense days of the month are July 1st, when we have Chiron square Jupiter, and July 20th, when Jupiter is opposite Pluto. Okay, let's pull a card for our magical Pisces for the month of July. I want to hear from you guys. What's going on? Ooh, the Hierophant, the teacher, the mentor. You are stepping into your power. You are stepping into who you came here to be, shining your gifts and talents. You are teachers. This has to do with also teachers or guides of yours, higher learning. Many of you, there may be a subject coming forward that you become a master of. Breakthroughs in your knowledge, sharing your beliefs. I feel like pulling a bonus card. Ooh, the Virgos also got this one, I think. 7 of Pentacles. Work pays off. Rewards, results, profits, harvest. Very, very nice. Things that last into the long term and are the most positive take time and patience. And Pisces is not one of the easy signs to be. And I feel like you've gone through the ringer in recent times with recent astrological transits. And this is a month of blessings and being open to the positive, stepping into even deeper wisdom, results, hard work paying off. So excited, Pisces. Let me know how you're doing in the comments below. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for joining me in today's July 2026 astrology video. Just a reminder that you can check out all my offerings, my readings that are now booking into September, October, my premium and astrology club memberships, webinars and courses, all that stuff on my website, megmoonbeam.com. And coming up very, very soon, this month of July, my astrology soul sister, Julie, and I, we're hosting a tarot and astrology workshop series. I'll highlight it in the comments below. I'll pin a comment with the link to sign up. July 5th, we're hosting a Your Birthday Tarot Cards workshop. And July 21st, we're hosting a When Tarot Meets Astrology workshop. If you sign up for both of them before July 4th, you get 50% off. So they both come to $40 in total, and they're a $100 value. Or you can get each of them as standalone if you want to get them that way. And there is unlimited replay access if you can't join in on the live on July 5th for the Birthday Tarot Cards workshop, or the live July 21st with the When Tarot Meets Astrology workshop. So excited to be offering those things. And thank you so much to everyone that's already signed up. We love weaving in the tarot with the astrology, sharing that knowledge with you guys. And I'd really appreciate it if you guys would like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, or hype this video to help with the channel's growth. Love you all very much and have a magical July. Bye, everybody.